We treat a photograph as a fixed record, a static tomb of a linear past. In a multidimensional framework, however, a photograph is a physical cross-section of a moment point. It is a thin slice of a reality where infinite probabilities converge. The subject frozen in the frame represents an official reality, but this singular identity is a selective illusion. This selection is driven by consciousness units, or CUs. These fundamental building blocks of awareness possess specific propensities, constantly filtering a vast field of data to construct the version of the world you recognize. Because CUs exist outside the constraints of linear time, the identity of the subject in the photo remains fluid and continuously active, regardless of the physical image. Every photograph marks a boundary. It is the coordinate where unchosen probable realities branch off from the official timeline. The physical image captures the subject's exact neural selections. As the official path solidifies, unselected possibilities diverge into their own trajectories. We are left with a frozen artifact, while a branching network of probabilities continues to develop just outside the frame's borders. This video examines how deconstructing these artifacts provides a method for tracking the specific paths we did not take. By treating photographs as ontological blueprints rather than memories, it becomes possible to identify and integrate these latent potentials into our current reality. To understand how these branches form, we look at a subject at a critical juncture, before their life path specialized into a single official route. The environment here is rigid. The institutional setting of this religious school provides a specific pressure that forces the selection of certain traits over others. Within the subject are trace selves, latent, highly charged potentials that exist simultaneously within the psyche. In this specific coordinate, 3 trace selves are active: the mystic, the artist, and the dogmatic follower. Within this rigid structure, the subject's official self accepts only the neurological data that ensures survival and conformity. This choice does not eliminate the other data. The energy associated with the mystic and the artist is simply rerouted. While the official reality suppresses these identities, they continue their development within a probable reality. The photograph captures the exact physical coordinate of this divergence. It serves as a permanent record of the moment the official timeline solidified and the alternate paths were severed. This divergence also applies to raw physical energy. We can map the specific points where unmade physical choices branched away from our current bodies. Early in a timeline, a young subject possesses a vast reservoir of raw, completely unspecialized energy. In this instance, the official trajectory eventually channeled that vitality into a sedentary life focused on painting and writing. This left behind a primary unactualized path, the physical athlete self. We can trace the official timeline from this foundational moment directly to the adult artist. At the same time, we can map the secondary timeline that continues in parallel. The athlete self remains active and subordinate within the subject's total identity, fulfilling its potential in an alternate reality. Because these cells share a neural and spiritual origin, it is possible to draw energy across these timelines. An artist, for example, may draw physical flexibility and health directly from the vitality of their athletic trace self. This allows for the integration of unmade choices, using them as active energy sources for the current reality. These mechanics also govern the complex dynamics of families. A family photograph represents a highly charged intersection where multiple competing probable realities meet. Consider an anomaly. A man discovers a specific house for sale years after his family moved away, feeling an intense, immediate draw to it. Investigation reveals that the house once belonged to his mother's unchosen suitor, a man she once considered marrying instead of his father. This reveals the hidden mechanics of cross-reality influence, where an unactualized desire manifests within another person's timeline. The mother's unlived path creates a psychological and electromagnetic draw, guiding her son toward that specific coordinate in his own life. The family photograph serves as physical evidence of a deep agreement between multidimensional blueprints to manifest together in the same space. Random coincidence is often the visible structural overlap of these intersecting probable realities. To master these connections, we must focus on the physical frame of the photograph itself. This frame is a time cage, capturing a sample of identity within a localized neurobiological coordinate. We can visualize the contrast between the trapped two-dimensional image and the multidimensional observer looking down into the cage. While the image inside the cage is static and unalterable, the observing consciousness outside of it remains fluid. This consciousness, made of CUs, operates completely outside the linear constraints of the time cage. Viewing an old photograph functions as a living communication from a multidimensional identity, surfacing the blueprints of paths that remain accessible. It is an invitation to recognize the infinite paths branching out from every captured moment. By acknowledging these intersecting possibilities, we move beyond the illusion of linear time and recognize that our identity exists across the entire spectrum of probable reality.